Hi, everybody. I'm KHOU 11 Meteorologist Pat Cavlin here, just with a quick update on what's going on weather-wise. If you're getting ready to head out tonight, an umbrella might not be a bad idea, especially if you live around Houston and points north. I think coastal spots, though, will be pretty dry here as we go through the entire night. Been a pretty loud evening so far up towards the Conroe, Livingston, Cleveland area here north of town. Houston, we haven't seen a drop of rain. South, more of the same here. A couple showers went through Chambers County, but Galveston's been dry. Down through Brazoria and Matagorda County, for the most part, also dry. A couple showers down through Matagorda County, but the bulk of the activity really has been to the north. So as we get you in for a closer look here, up 290 from Cypress back through Hempstead and Brenham. A couple showers rolling through now, most of it to the north and east. One thunderstorm right now, though, just to the north of Hempstead. By the way, this is at 7 p.m. that we're looking at this, so all of this is lifting off towards the north and east, so it's not moving towards the city at this point. As we go a little farther to the north and east, along I-45 here from Conroe up through Huntsville, a really rough ride. So if you're traveling north towards Dallas tonight, or if you're traveling south from Huntsville into Houston, it's going to be a rough ride, going to be a slow go. Ponding on the roadway is a concern for us. These are slow-moving thunderstorms. They're producing quite a bit of rainfall. We've seen at least 1 to 2 inches of rain so far in these areas with locally higher amounts. And we've seen a couple flashes of lightning as well. Lightning count's not overly impressive right now, but still a pretty loud evening for some of us here. And then as we go from Maynard through Cold Spring up towards Livingston, 59, kind of a rough ride as well, going up towards Lufkin. And a couple of these cells have been feisty at times. Wherever you see these higher concentrations of lightning, so one storm right now over Livingston, one just to the south and east of Lufkin. Big lightning producers like that, kind of an indication that we could see maybe some strong to severe thunderstorms. No warning so far. We'll keep an eye on it. It's a very low-end chance, but 1 or 2 of these storms, again, could get stronger. Here's the setup. So this is our batch of rain here, along what's known as a stationary boundary. So it was a warm front that tried to lift in from the Gulf, and then it just kind of got stuck across the area. So that's acting as the focus for all these showers and storms. To the north up towards Dallas, there's a weak cold front. That's going to move in our direction. So what will happen through the overnight is these storms will keep drifting north and east, and eventually this boundary will push south and interact with those storms, and then everyone sees rain as we get into the late overnight and the early Sunday morning hours. So this is the setup. Again, it's late storm chances. That front will push through for tomorrow, and then we're just a touch cooler tomorrow. This cold front doesn't really do anything. We're going to have to wait until Tuesday for a stronger front. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But here's a look at future track. Didn't put any pause points in this, so let's back it up here, and we'll walk you through it hour by hour. So 8 to 9 o'clock. Again, that batch of rain is all lifting towards the north and east. So Houston's dry, Katie's dry, Sugar Land is dry, Galveston dry for the most part. Any coastal spots, maybe just 1 or 2 showers drifting through. But again, it's mainly north of the area that we'll see this chance all the way through about 11 o'clock. Even notice 11 o'clock, a couple showers now developing around the woodlands. The heaviest of the rain, though, still along Huntsville and points north. But again, we could get a few spotty downpours here just to the south of Huntsville around 10 and 11 o'clock. It's not until after midnight, though, around 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, that we get this big line of storms here developing from Brenham back through Huntsville up towards the woodlands as you get into Polk, San Jacinto County, and all of that is going to be moving south. Still not raining in Houston, though, at 2 a.m. So if you have plans tonight in the city, I think you're going to be fine. It's really once we get into the 3, 4, and 5 o'clock in the morning hours that we're going to see this activity begin to reach the city. But notice that we start to see less orange, less red, and it's just kind of more diffuse here. This line will really start to fall apart as we get into the morning hours. I think the chance for any strong storms will be to the east of town, out towards Liberty, Anahuac, Winnie, as you get up towards, again, Polk, San Jacinto counties. And again, this is pre-dawn, so 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Couple of showers, couple of downpours back to the west, but that's about it. The severe threat here is really low, and that'll continue to kind of fall apart as we go through the rest of the morning. Then we jump ahead to our next front. We talked about this before. This is going to be Tuesday, so we're still about 3 to 4 days away from this happening, but this is going to be a much stronger front. Right now, it looks like the core for this severe weather stays to our east. We are on the western edge of that, so pretty much from I-45 and points to the east, there is going to be the chance to to see some strong to severe thunderstorms as we get into Tuesday. And then behind it, everyone turns a lot colder, not just for the middle part of the week, but it looks like for the rest of the month. And we'll talk about that impact in just a second. But first, the severe threat. It's a lower end threat for our area, so along 45 up towards Dallas, it's a low-end threat. So from 45 and points east, low-end severe threat for Tuesday and Tuesday night. I think the core for the severe weather is in that orange shading there in northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and northeast Texas. And this is for the chance to see tornadoes, damaging wind, hail. I mean, all threats are on the table for us as we get into Tuesday. But again, it's mainly to the north and east of Houston. Behind it, the temperatures crash. We go from the mid and upper 70s down to the low and mid 50s by the weekend. So we're looking at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's when that big drop is on the way. So this week starts off warm, but by midweek, the temperatures really crash. And again, if you're a fan of cooler weather, you're going to love this forecast here. All the way through Christmas Eve. So this is the Christmas week temperature outlook. The entire country turns a lot colder with good chances for below normal temperatures extending all the way down to us here in southeast Texas. So that's the roundup. We'll take a look at the radar again one more time pretty quickly here. At this point, it's just downpours and thunderstorms to the north of town. Nothing severe. There's a really low chance that some of this stuff becomes severe. And it looks like, is that a flood advisory? Yeah, this is a flood advisory just got issued. So again, a lot of rain coming down here. So from 45 out to 59, we've got a flood advisory in effect. That just popped up. Should give you a better idea of where that actually is. Put that over the radar. There you go. So the green box there indicates the flood advisory. It's just because we've seen so much rain with these really slow-moving downpours and thunderstorms. I talked about that before. It's just the fact that everything's moving so slow. We've already seen several inches of rain. In fact, we'll actually show you how much rain that we've gotten so far. In the last 3 hours alone, wait for the map to populate, and then we'll be able to actually click around it. Yeah, so you can see that corridor right there where the flood advisory is in effect. So from Livingston back through Willis and New Waverly, this is where we've seen some of the most impressive rain totals. And it is along some of the rivers, some of the bayous here. So 2-3 inches of rain. Yeah, so this is pretty much what we're going to continue to see here as we go through the rest of the overnight. The chance for isolated pockets of flooding, the chance for 1 or 2 feisty thunderstorms. Most of this activity stays north of the city. I would say around 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. These downpours and thunderstorms will reach I-10, so places like Katy, through Houston, all the way as you get out towards the Louisiana border. But until then, it's mainly north of the city. So if you live north of town, places like Conroe, New Waverly, Huntsville, out towards Livingston, Cleveland, the Woodlands, you're going to have a pretty wet night and at times a pretty loud night as well with thunder and lightning. But again, in that area where we've got these rain totals so far, where it's been 2, 3, 4 inches, we do have some flood concerns. So that flood advisory, that's in effect until 9 p.m. So in the 2 hours, we've got that flood advisory in effect. So bottom line here, if you live in an area that typically floods, just stay away from any rising water. Don't drive through it at nighttime. Just be more careful driving around because it's really hard to see those high water spots until it's too late. You don't want to end up driving through water and then having to get pulled out or rescued or just ruin your car. It's not a great way to go through your weekend, right? All right, so that's pretty much it. Heavy rain to the north. That's what we're seeing right now. Nothing severe at this point. If anything changes, we'll jump on here on digital or even on TV if it's severe enough. We'll be watching this all through the night. Kim Castro comes in early tonight or early tomorrow morning, late tonight. So we're going to give ourselves we'll be handing off coverage here tonight. So you'll always be covered through the overnight hours. But that's what we got right now. Heavy rainfall to the north of the city. Chance for a few stronger storms and a bigger cold front coming in for Tuesday. We'll have more on that coming up tonight on KHOU 11 News at 10. We'll hope to see you then.